Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. And it's the Nathan Zagura, Greg Newsome show, which we're going to be doing weekly here on Cleveland Browns Daily, apparently. Greg, it is a joy to be with you once again. How are you doing, brother?
Doing good. Just trying to, find ways for us to get a win this week.
All right, let's go talk about the second half against the Bengals, the first half against the Ravens. That's the number one passing offense in the league in Cincinnati, number one running, and really number one total offense. In those four quarters, you guys give up 88 yards. 88 yards in four quarters against offenses like that. And then over time, listen, it's hard to be out there all the time on defense. But in those four quarters, how did you guys do that?
Yeah, we just played our brand of ball. I feel like at each level of the defense, we have elite players. And starting with, I think Devin Bush and Carson have been playing at an extreme high level. So they do a lot in that run game to be able to stop Derrick Henry. We got safeties that's coming downhill. Our D-line is playing unbelievable. I think our corners, we're playing pretty well too. So we just been playing true to us and just sticking to what we do best.
And what's kind of amazing in that is that you've done it without M.J. Emerson all year, as we well know. And then in this game, Denzel was dealing with cramps, so he wasn't out there. And this was a game where we actually kind of had a unique plan for us. He was following Zay Flowers around. That's not something that we do often. Then he goes out. Now you're following Zay Flowers around. What was kind of that like, and just the adjustments? It's a next man up league. Nobody waits and says, oh, we'll wait for you guys to get healthy and get back out here. What was just kind of that like, going on the fly with such adjustments to what was a unique game plan for us?
Yeah, it was crazy because, like you said, all week that was the game plan. I was like, all right, cool. We get into the game, and obviously he goes down. I see Cam run on. I was like, all right, I'm going to 4. Like, I was just quick already what we were already doing. So I'm always prepared for moments like that. Like, how I study film is I study everybody, so kind of get a good glimpse of everybody anyways. But I think we did a good job of adjusting on the fly.
You got to be pretty pleased with where you're at, because obviously when you look at their target distribution, Zay is their top target, but kept him out of the end zone. You did a great job against Jamar Chase in week 1. Are you feeling like you're kind of in this one? We talked about being outside. With Zay Flowers, you could be outside. You could be number 3 on the end. You could be all over the place with him. But how are you feeling about where you're at and what you've seen on tape?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Obviously, it's just week 3 now. But, I just got to continue to practice hard, work hard, study hard, and I think I'm in a pretty good place. Even that Ravens game, like a lot of the targets were plaster drills with Lamar scrambling around. So I think right now I'm in a pretty good place.
Is he frustrating at times because of his ability? There was the third down where he's running around for like an hour and makes an unbelievable throw. Zay makes a great catch, but you're right there. You did a great job for 7 seconds. You can't cover these guys forever.
Nah, yeah. For me, it's not really frustrating just because, like, I understand what our D-line goes through. Like, obviously, we go through a lot on the back end, but going against a guy like that, they go through a lot too, and they really held them the entire game pretty much.
Yeah.
So some of those plays are going to happen. Obviously, I don't want them to be throwing it to my guy when it's doing the scramble drill, but a lot of that stuff is just like, all right, next play. Like, that's how you got to think.
What do you say to young guys? And obviously Cam now in his 3rd year, but it kind of felt like he came in and they were like, okay, we're going to test the young guy in there. And Miles, who, that's a very good offense. Obviously, when they get DeAndre Hopkins at the end, that's a veteran who's done a lot. Is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Lamar's going to be a Hall of Famer. But how do you keep them positive when, it's tough? You go in and we're a team that plays man-to-man. And so they're going to go at people.
For me, it's like we all have been there. Like my first year, like I was getting majority of the targets, obviously playing opposite of Denzel. So for them, really, it's just like continue to like keep going. Some of those things are gonna happen. Like obviously, you don't want some of those things to happen, but at the end of the day, you just got to continue to keep trusting yourself. You got to realize like if one of us do go down, they're probably going to throw at the other person. Like, that's just naturally how the game goes.
Yep.
Especially with 2 guys that are already proven in this league. So we're really just focusing each day for their mindset to just continue to grow, like knowing when it's your time, like, be ready.
Got to go out there. You've got to do it. Now, this is a Green Bay team that's a little different than what we've seen. We've seen, Jamar and T. Then you got Zay Flowers, although Lamar certainly spread the ball around in that game. This is a team where they're going to be rotating wide receivers. They've got speed guy and Golden, their first-round pick. Wicks can run down the field. Romeo Doubs is very good. They've got a lot of guys that they mix in. So it's not kind of like the targets flow in one direction. They got a big-time tight end as well.
Yeah.
How is that? How do you prepare for a team where it really is kind of the ball's just going to go where the scheme dictates that it goes?
Yeah, this is a fun game. Jordan Love, I have so much respect for him as a quarterback. He gives some opportunities. He'll let the ball go. Obviously, going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, you can kind of see they're all gunslingers. So
Yep.
he'll definitely give us some opportunities. Preparing against a receiver group like this is actually a little bit more challenging, just because, like you said, they don't just – when we play the Bengals, all right, I know I'm going to either get T or I'm going to get Jamar. Majority of the time against the Ravens, I'm either going to get Zay or I'm going to get Rashad Bateman. Majority of the time. This one, it could be 6 different receivers I go against. So it's definitely a little bit more challenging, but this will be definitely a fun game plan for us.
You mentioned he's a little bit of a gunslinger. They've been explosive. They hit explosive plays. We've done a good job so far of really limiting explosives. That's one of those kind of styles make the fights games. How do you kind of balance playing that aggressive man single high versus also, most teams when they say we want to limit explosives, we're going to play the 2 high and shell and kind of keep it all in front of us. We've done a good job of limiting that even with that single high.
Yeah, Coach Schwartz always says, obviously we're going to game plan. Every team does. But at the end of the day, we're going to be true to ourselves. And we're going to play what got us here, what keeps us elite. So obviously there are some things that we'll do, but at the end of the day, you kind of got to always stick true to your colors. Like a pitcher, obviously if his fastball is what he does, like don't just start throwing sinkers just because of, different offenses. Continue to keep going with your strengths and just find a way to win.
What's it kind of like in the locker room right now? Tough start to the season, obviously, and we still know back in week 1 that was one that got away from us. But how's that locker room kind of processing everything and getting ready to go out here today and work to get ready for the Packers, who have been quite good?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's hungry right now. I feel like in years past, just starting bad, like you can kind of see the locker room start going different ways. But I feel like this year, guys are hungry. Like, speaking of some of the rookies, like they're excited. They want the ball. They want to contribute. Guys want to contribute. So I think this week we're going to continue to just keep playing good. At the end of the day, like we said, we preach, we just got to find a way to play complementary football.
Yep.
And this is a perfect week to start that, especially going back at home.
Absolutely, it is. Greg, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this week against the Packers.
Appreciate it.